originally I was going to get a lot of this stuff up and running to continue this sort of Unreal Engine based 2D animation pitch that I was working on. But the project is a little bit old now, so we might as well kind of walk through setting it up from the beginning. Obviously, I'm going to grab assets and reuse them and things like that. But, you know, even the assets themselves were in fairly rough proxy shape anyway, so you might as well kind of walk it through from the very beginning. So, number one pet peeve about setting stuff up for the first time is naming conventions, right? So this is really kind of annoying me, and it's worth sort of talking about. And, you know, you can see, I think, pretty much up front what it is. So if I were to come in, ooh, I thought on here I had a, oh, I got to keep an eye on my frame drops as well. Yeah, okay, so if we take a look at what I've emailed to myself, oh no, that's not it. Let me find it here. I just had it up in my window. Oh, you know what it is? I got signed out and I have to do the stupid, you know. I know there's a Microsoft Authenticator tool out there, but I just don't want to use it. Okay, so 239. All right, so there you go. Something like that. Don't ask me again for 7 days, please. Please, just get me in. Get me in. You're gonna make me ask for it again, aren't you? Oh, 239. Okay. Is it? Maybe it's this one. Oh, cranky. So I had the email up and ready to go, but I think I'm just gonna have to, let's refresh this page. There we go. Okay, so I should get a new code any second now, guys, and then we will, there it is, we will pick it up. Oh my God. I suppose as more and more people move to online, this stuff becomes a little bit more of a necessity. All right, so I'm gonna switch my camera back on. Hopefully, Ivy Cam will pick it up straight away. Come on, pick it up. Come on, come on. Tech that doesn't work perfectly just annoys me. Oh well, Ivy Cam is free. There we go. All right, so picked it up. Okay, cool. I can pop this back. A disadvantage of using my mobile phone as a webcam as well. I'm just a bit leery about asking for a webcam at the moment. But that's cool. No, the code, come on. No, I just sent you a code. Just get me in. And then we'll talk a little bit about picking up where we left off. So while I'm kind of faffing about, it's a good opportunity for you guys to go and grab a coffee or something. You don't need to hang out while I'm trying to sort this out. Should be another couple of minutes, I think. Just got to get I lost my camera again. One sec here. Craziness. There we go. Come on. Okay, and you're upright. I'm dealing with this weird thing where the Ivy Cam, once you launch it, will lock into a particular orientation, and it's like really difficult to get out of it. It's like I try to set up my camera and then suddenly I'm upside down. Oh well, there we go. Something like that. Just gonna double check that camera. There we go. That's cool. Okay, so this is the annoying thing, because I believe I had it in a draft, but because of the stupid two-factor authentication thing, I got to reload the draft. But the point of it is, actually I can make a point of it just by showing it to you here. So one of the big things that bothers me is that I didn't realize I'd have to set up, obviously, 2 servers and 2 clients, 2 separate machines. If I'd have known that ahead of time, I would have changed the naming conventions that I've got going on here. So right now, I've got my main computer, my main PC, downstairs called VPN Alkang Hub 2. And then the upstairs, the machine I'm at currently and streaming to you guys is VPN Alkang Art Connection. I must have left some sort of default naming there in place. Not too sure. 62% frame drops. I think there must be something going on with my connection. I'm wondering if it's related to the SoftEther VPN. It's possible. I think I will have to investigate that. But we will see what we will see. Okay. So here I've got the main PC. I've got this hub name and I got that hub name. So if I knew that was going to happen, I would have picked a hub naming convention of some kind. The main hub downstairs should be hub 1, not hub 2, or hub main, or something like that, you know. So it's always worthwhile to sit down and come up with a naming, right? So in retrospect, I think it would have been good to call hub it hub VPN, like I have there, and then a dash Alkang Art. You know, I don't want to do like upstairs computer and downstairs computer, right? But maybe I can do like main. That's what I would have preferred. And then the whole Alkang Art dash main dot VPN Azure dot net. I might be able to rename this. Oh, and then hub underscore VPN. See, this would have made things nice and neat, right? Right. So VPN hub dash L and art. And then I don't know, I'd call this O2. And then it would have been nice to name that second address something like that. I don't know if we would be able to use a number. Well, I would try it anyway, and then call it .vpn azure.net, right? So then we have something of a naming convention going on, right? So this would have been my preferred naming convention. Now we might have an opportunity to do this.
Ice cream is in front of you.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So we might have an opportunity to do this. It's possible. So I'm going to.
A bukkake appeared in your face.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I'm being invaded. 34% frame drops. Holy cow.
Why do you smell like ice cream?
Why do I smell like ice cream? Why? I'm just cursed. All right. So I'm going to send that to myself, right? So that's going to be...
And...
Good.
Look at
What are you doing
Look
back
at me
there,
walking.
man?
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. This morning, I wanted to set up a VPN gate, right? So let me do that first. Actually, I'll do that offline. You guys don't need to see that going on. So I'm going to, what am I doing? SoftEther, yeah. So I'm going to bookmark that for later. Pop that down. Move the Twitch stream over. Okay, so hopefully we'll be okay with this. Wow, that's a lot of frame drops, 34%. I'm not too happy with that. Okay, so the first things first. Let's see if we can access the PC downstairs and fire it up, right? That'll be our first port of call. The startup tasks might give us some opportunity to talk a little bit about what I'm planning on doing. All right, so let's see if I can fire up AnyDesk. Now I should be able to control it from here, but let's take a look. If not, I've got a couple of controls that'll allow me to fire it up. So that would be, I believe, this PC. So let's see if we can power it on remotely. Could not find a device to start Wake on LAN. Okay, so I don't know if I'll be able to show, I don't think I'll be able to show this to you. So what I'm currently doing now, and because it's on my phone, you guys won't be able to see this, but I'll walk it through. So on my phone, I have an application called Lightwave. And Lightwave is connected to my power outlet downstairs, right? And the mains lead that my PC is connected to, I've just turned that plug off and then on again. And let's see if we can pop back in here. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna have to take a dash downstairs and check out my PC, bud. I'm gonna have to run downstairs, check out my PC, guys. But in theory, the startup process has engaged now. I've noticed that the power on auto start and auto login occasionally runs into difficulty. Here's what I've discovered. So if you've got your PC set up for auto login, auto power on, why did I go upside down? You need to pretty much immediately after you shut down your PC, you need to turn off the power mains right at the wall for it to work properly. There we go. Let's get that rotation working. There we go. Okay. We'll see if this works. I'll have an indication on my AnyDesk if the power on process worked. Let's give it a couple minutes. I don't think it's going though, guys. Doesn't look like it is picking it up. So, where's it? This one. Let's see. Power this guy on. No. Oh, while I'm here. Okay, well that's cool. We'll leave this on for now. I'm gonna have to remote desk you'd like to access is that one. Let me take a dash downstairs, check to see if the PC's powering on. Man, I was really hoping this would be a slick demo. I'd just be like, look, here's an AnyDesk, fire it on. Whoa, there you go, remote controlling these PCs. But to no avail. Okay, so I'm gonna dash downstairs real quick. I will be right back. Okay, here we go, guys. Downstairs PC's firing up. So we'll just need to wait for that to come online and we're all good. We might be running into issues as well. Let's see, we've got 7 notifications. 25% drop frames. It's not too bad. We got a better connection today than we did yesterday. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. I'm currently updating Unreal Engine as well. So that's probably taken up a fair chunk. Oh well, it's got to be done, right? So one of the things I will try to do is keep a screen capture record so that I can post it up on the Discord server so that you guys have at least sort of still frames that you can reference and follow along with. So we'll try that out, I think. Okay, so with that PC firing up, yep, we see a check mark here. So we should be good to go. Now I thought I could rename this guy from here, but that's cool. It's all right. So now we're going to connect up to that PC downstairs. And going to log in automatically from now on. There you go. So we should see that PC fire up any second now, and then we can pick up where we left off. So I'm going to pop over to, just to get ready, we'll pop over to the Animechanix server on the UE4 multi-user. Now, there's something I'm going to point out about the screen captures on the multi-user. There was an area where you have to pay careful attention to. And perhaps I'll make a note of it actually, so it stands out a little bit more, right? So it was during the server setup, this entry here, choose virtual NAT, image accidentally deleted. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger, right? So I'm going to go, let's say, let's use a Python convention. So let's put in a bunch of hashes, right? Image deleted here, right? Okay, so how do I do a carriage return? I can't do a carriage return. Okay, so I'm just going to have to do this carefully. Remember to choose virtual NAT. And let's see. Virtual NAT. Let's leave it at that for a second because I want to see. So once we go to manage virtual hub, right? Yeah, is there any way I can add an image here? No. See, here's what I wish, right? I wish I could just come in here and insert an image here. Can I do that? Let's see. More. Edit message. Can we edit this message? No, it's just giving me text options. Cancel. Don't want to delete that one. Oh, that's really frustrating. Maybe I can just say, yeah, let's try this. So I'm going to edit this message, and I'm going to say, let's put a star here. Image posted below. And hopefully that's good enough that people will know there should be an image there. So what is that image? Let's go and find it. Actually, I'll bring up my, I was going to bring up my Snagit editor because I don't know if this will get me, it's not going to get me to the right, probably faster just to bring up Snagit. And then we'll pop that up, get that going on. Whilst that's loading up, let's take a look at my day today. Okay, so I've got the modeling session today. That should be cool. So we're going to jump into doing a little bit of modeling. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the box and texturing the box, and we're going to go back to that. I think the biggest problem for junior modelers or people learning modeling for the first time, in addition to all the modeling tools like appending polygons and inserting edge loops and all that kind of stuff, is just the notion of UVing and textures and the whole relationship between vertices, UVs, and texturing. So this is why I'm trying to hammer this a little bit. I know it feels maybe like it might be information overload, but I think it's a good idea to think about your model and your texture at the same time. That way you're a little bit kind of more aware of it. Oh yeah, those are those screen grabs from yesterday. I was doing some feedback with a programming student as well, and talking about how to approach breaking down what you're trying to replicate inside of OpenGL. Sometimes it helps to have an image and break that image apart. But there you go. I'm just waiting for my Snagit editor to load images so I can see by the thumbnail previews what it is that I need to kind of pull over, and we'll take it from there. Hope you guys are having a good morning anyway. All right, so yeah, I'm just waiting for my thumbnail field to populate here, and then I gotta find the one screenshot that was missing. So that would be all right, so we got that one. I think it might be this one. It's hard to tell from just the thumbnails, but let's see if that's the guy. No. All right. Be nice if we could go in here and just have a massive preview window while we're doing this. So let's see in order of dates. So 10, 15. And there's manage the. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I wanted this one. Open that one. But it opened something else instead. Yeah, okay, yeah, just, make up your own mind what you want to open up. Crazy. Okay. Let's try this again.
Can I go on the Xbox?
Yeah, you should be okay to go on the Xbox. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:30. You gotta wait till 10, buddy. Yeah, I know. You're not opening up. The best thing to do, I think, is there should be right-click functionality, and I should go to, there's no image source, open source location. All right. Well, I got the location address here. I'm just going to pop over, open Windows Explorer, and then we'll take it from there. All right, so I'm just gonna bomb through these real quick and find the image that we need, and then drag it over, and then we should all be good. All right, and then we'll pick it up. Okay, so let's reconnect this guy. There you go. Okay, cool. All right, so whereabouts are we here? to the view. Let's take a look at large icons. Then the images have to update, of course. But it'll make it easier to find the image that's missing. And I think this through a couple of my students last night while they were trying to set this connection up. So it's good. I'm hunting through this and popping that in. Monster153, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's just a morning of trying to set up an Unreal Engine connection to sort of connect up various different PCs all over the planet into a singular session, multi-user session of Unreal. Should be fun. And then I'm going to talk about how I set up to do pre-visualization work, and I'll kind of walk you through that. But right now, I'm just sort of problem solving this little bit of a sticky issue here. Okay, so that was the manage the server. There we go. We got there in the end. So the image that is missing is that one. This is choose virtual NAT. Image missing from above tab. Okay. We are back to normal there, I think. Right? So, let's pick up where we left off with this setup. So I'm going to go over to my remote computer. This one's going to act as my server, and we're going to join this guy inside the AnyDesk window. So I'm going to close up Houdini and close up VLC. I have those sort of auto launching on startup because of the last previs project I had on the go. So I needed that sort of up and running by the time I got downstairs for work. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make sure my Unreal Engine is up to date. And then we'll launch a server here. Okay, so we got the client set up as well. And what we want to do while we're waiting for Epic's sort of, what do you call it? Epic's lobby to launch up. Let's see if we can connect to our Hub 2, the main one, right? So I'm going to right click here. Let's connect up to it. So now the PC I'm sitting at, that's the client, and I'm logging into my server, right? So that's cool. Oops. Yikes. I was dragging a window over and I dropped it. What? Don't tell me I locked up my machine. Come on. Okay, there you go. So view status, right? So this just shows that we're connected and via what port, right? So we're all good to go. So we are now connected as a client, right? So inside here, what I want to do is double check to make sure on my server computer that we've got, so 426 is up to date. I need to update 4253. So we'll get that one going on. But in the meantime, we should be able to start up. Let's see, what Unreal Engine versions do I have here? So I'm currently ooh, that gets a bit complicated. Okay, so I've got 4254 here and 426 preview, but that's installing at the moment. So I currently don't have an active iteration of Unreal that I can use to test this out just yet. Okay. So one of the things that I will do instead is what I was going to do earlier is to update my, let's do that. Let's try and sort that out today because I think that's really, really important. We're going to go and clean up our Soft Ether VPN connection. You want to use this technique for teaching purposes only, right? Yeah, absolutely. Right? So one of the things we're trying to do with the Soft Ether technique is I'm trying to connect up my students to a virtual session of Unreal, and then we're actually going to be running through a project. Now, one of the things that I'm doing, even though it is sort of for teaching purposes only, is I'm replicating what a lot of visual effects studios, animation studios out there are trying to do, especially in these COVID-19 times, is to try and help facilitate a workflow where teams of artists can work together remotely, but in the same session of Unreal, right? So we're going to be exploring that. One of many ways of doing it, to be fair, right? There are a few other different ways of approaching this particular sort of dilemma. So while we're waiting for the updates on Unreal, which shouldn't take that long, let me dive in here and just clean up our VPN connection, because it's sort of frustrating me that we have just the naming convention issue. And I'm also going in here to dive in and grab the VPN, the Soft Ether VPN, with the plugin for VPN Gate. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to pop in there for that. So I think that will be that. So while we're waiting for this, one of the things that I think is worth talking about, because I haven't gone into it in quite a long time, is just this notion of exploring Unreal Engine's marketplace. There's a lot of very, very cool stuff that's been added since the last I checked in there. Right? Uh-oh. Let me check my frame drops. Yeah, no, the frame drops. It seems like this is a headache to set up. Oh, yeah, it is, but I'm sort of comfortable with it at the moment, just because I've done setups like this before. The big thing for me that I learned at a fairly young stage in my career is that the headache or the nightmare that takes 2 or 3 days to set up in the beginning of the project will save you the 2 weeks of sheer hell at the back end. When you have a deadline, you have to deliver your project, everyone's panicking, and nothing was set up properly in the first place, and it's just no. Now, it's not like I learned it straight away. It was after like 3 or 4 projects, just having my head hammered against the wall right towards delivery date.
The Xbox now?
Let's see. Yeah, it's 15 minutes early. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so it was a number of different projects where I was hammering my head against the wall, and I became a huge champion of pre-production at Electronic Arts. It became like a religion to me after that. I was like, no, look, we got to set everything up. And pre-production for me was not just about doing concept art, right? It was in the beginning, but let me explain it to you. Let me just set up this download because I want the VPN bridge. So that should get me the package that I want. And we want the VPN bridge for Windows. Right, so while that's funny. So the thing that we generally tend to think of in terms of pre-production is that there's concept art, storyboards, model sheets. It's all the design work that happens prior to. One second here. Let me. I need the client and the bridge. So let's go Soft Ether client bridge VPN gate. What's up, kiddo?
Nothing.
Right. Yeah, so with concept art, classically in the past, it was always approached as design work, right? But one of the things that used to annoy me is that pre-production used to be throwaway work. In a sense that we'd solve all of these design issues in pre-production. We'd be prototyping. We used to use something called VertTools. So we'd prototype stuff in VertTools and Macromedia Director, believe it or not. And then we go, okay, we got the game figured out. This is cool. We present the pre-production materials, get a green light, dive into production, and everybody would just start over again. Like literally start over again. And I would throw my hands up in disgust. It was not just the fact that none of the design work translated over. People were redesigning from the ground up. But we couldn't reuse any of the assets that we developed, say, in VertTools. None of it translated over into the engine. And we did a lot of tuning and stuff. And it's like, well, what was the point of all that? So when I was part of a design team working on new IP, I said, look, we're going to set up pre-production properly. We've done this a whole heap of times. There are ways we can name stuff and set up folders that we know we can migrate into an engine because we've done it. We know we're going to need this category, that category. So why reinvent the wheel? When it comes to a character skeleton, yeah, if I do some prototype animation with a character skeleton, we know that there's going to be a custom rig. But we also know that with a humanoid bipedal character, they're going to have arms and legs, right? So we can have a minimal skeleton that carries our data over. And if we have to add custom end effectors or custom, joints, locators, all that kind of stuff, any kind of custom constraints, we can always layer that into a basic human skeleton, right? So in that regard, my very first sort of crack at an overall pre-production project was to sit down for the first week, come up with a structure, come up with the naming conventions, come up with a pipeline in the workflow, as concept artists were, and myself included, dumping artwork into a repository that was automatically being mapped to planes and things like that, and everything was connected, and all the dependencies were in place. So therefore, we could just grab all of that and migrate it to the larger team, and we could start building on top of that, and there you go. No wasted work. Pre-production used for what pre-production needs to be used for, right? To set up the game project before you sort of launch into production. So yeah, long-winded way to say, yeah, it is a headache, but it is a headache that is fully worth it, in my opinion, right? Okay, so download the VPN-Gate client, right? So this is what I'm after. I'm surprised it's not on Soft Ether's main website because it's a Soft Ether based project. So let's grab that. So my apologies. I wasn't expecting to hop in here and just do a whole bunch of downloading while I streamed to you guys. So what I might do is I've given you a little kind of preamble of what I'm planning on doing, and I'll kind of walk you through the structure and explain how it's working. And again, one of the reasons I'm doing this is so that this will help to facilitate a workflow with at least 3 people, right? And have a little bit of an easier time kind of executing on a larger project, especially if you guys are remotely located. You'll be able to connect up. What Soft Ether does is it fakes a WAN into becoming a LAN, right? So every sort of node that is running Soft Ether will think it's on the same network, right? And you know what? As I set this up, if you've never done anything like this before, it teaches you a whole load about how networking works underneath. So after I run through all of this and this setup, I'm actually going to do this again with my 12-year-old son because I think it's a good introduction in terms of how network hierarchies work at a very basic level, right? The one thing I like about Soft Ether is you can take it even deeper. So as you grow your network, there's a lot of stuff in the framework that will allow you to kind of add to it and add to it and add to it. So it's, for me, after a quick casual look at how it works, there seems to be a lot of built-in flexibility to it. So there you go. Let me download all this stuff. You don't have to watch me. I'll shut off this Twitch stream and I'll fire up another one when I'm ready to go. Okay? So I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.